Remember that time we thought we needed something more than the Sony X3000? That was embarrassing. Oh, those times are dead. Weird times ahead. Zeiss is coming back. Not sure if this is even a three-dimensional realm where Bigfoot is our president. It could be that. We have a couple hobos to answer as well. Let us speak.
All I want is the perfect camera. All I want is the perfect camera.
So we're on the Sony X3000, of course, one of the better studio cameras ever made. Hooked up to HDMI, just want to see lighting different. What happens? Bad things. Really bad things. So first, I just want to talk about Zeiss's return. This is late. I still don't know the specs, but I've seen the rumors that it's manual focus only. I know some stuff. Listen, Zeiss is the best. You can't beat it. If you're in Sony especially, that's your dream. Owning only Zeiss lenses. Fantastic company, 3D pop out the yin yang. Don't know that they even have a bad lens. Probably not even possible. Even their designs that are like APO, designed to remove 3D pop, have more 3D pop than anything we've ever seen in our life. Zeiss, beautiful. This, Sony X3000, Zeiss lens in there. Wouldn't want it any other way. I love you, Zeiss. You came back, you slept for a long bunch of years, and I don't really understand why you didn't make autofocusing lenses that were modern. They're manual. No one does that. Some people do it behind, okay, if you're doing stuff behind the camera, you're in charge. But you're making YouTube scrub cameras now, lenses. And they should be able to autofocus on us. Would love for something new to come, like a 24mm 1.2 Zeiss lens? You joking? Why isn't that in my field? Autofocusing. It's like, it was so exciting for a little while thinking Zeiss is coming back, oh my God. I thought their relationship with Sony was damaged because Sony has secretly, over time, replaced every Zeiss lens that they ever made for Sony. It's like 16 to 35. We have one now. It's smaller, better, cheaper. It's not cheaper. It's not better. No pop. You suck. I'm just speaking as a YouTube scrub when I see these lenses. But I do stuff sometimes. I go out there and I film people in slow motion, and these aren't going to be an option for that. Like, you can't really do exciting, fast-paced things with a manual focus lens. You can get like a static thing, and there's the odd moment where you could track a slow-moving old man in a walker or something. Like, you could, in theory. And even when I do manual focus outside, I want to be in control. It's like, yeah, let's lock it off. I missed the field because it's a frickin' dome-shaped field. And I'm like, oh, I'll focus on this tree here, stand right next to it. But the focus somehow ends up here. And I'm like, why? And I can't see it because I'm out here like 85mm lens, 20 feet away from the camera. And I'm like, I can't see that screen. I could be in, and I never am. And then I get embarrassed. My goldfish is laughing at me, which brings us to our first hobo. Dear Mr. Casey 3D Pop Priest, thank you for a 943. Is there any 3D zoom lenses for Sony FE, or can only Prime do this effect? Thank you. I haven't tested every lens on Earth, but let's just assume that only Zeiss knows how to do that. I know Dirty Photography Club has some like old Nikon zooms, and he's like, I can't believe this thing has 3D pop. It shouldn't, but it does. Who knows? Does it even exist? Nobody knows. Is this 3D popping? It could. Is a Zeiss lens on there? Come on. T-star coatings? Is there a little symbol? No, not seeing that, but it could be in there. If you were to get a zoom, I personally might lean, there's only two. There's the 16 to 35 24 or the 24 to 70 24. I've had the pleasure of using that 24 to 70 on the VG900 or something, Sony's full frame camcorder. So you can judge here if there's any pop or not. I don't know, I swear I saw some. When I used it, and I was like, that looks so much better than my Canon G7X in some ways, but then my commenters disagreed. They were like, G7X destroys this new thing, don't buy that, it's a stupid camera. G7X, like, it had better colors, it was sharper, more contrasty, like the Canon just looked better kind of, but now that I see it, I'm like, no, I think there was a cinema glory to that VG900, and that was the 24-70. Now I've debated getting either of those, and hear me out on this. If you're vlogging, you would think, oh, 16-35, it's wider, cool, handheld. What if you got the 24-70? It's lighter, and then you extend it on a tripod, dual sync stave, anyone? I don't know if it syncs with Sony IBIS, but it might. And then it's lighter, probably cheaper, but those are your two options. And honestly, if I'm thinking about it like, maybe I'll try that, maybe I'll buy one, and you could get them fairly cheap, but the 16-35 24 is gonna suck compared to my Zeiss Batis 18mm 2.8. So I'm like, why would I do that? Oh, cause I can zoom. Who cares? You can zoom to 35. That's what my Voigtlander 35mm 1.2 is all about. And it's like, okay, 24-70, that's better. Zeiss 55 1.8, you freak. What are you even talking about? So primes are better, zooms suck. That's photographer talk. You're behind and like zooming shit. I'm in front of the camera, and then all of a sudden that zoom doesn't really have the same effect. Like, oh, I could zoom on myself and back up, and it's not good for me. So like, I don't care about your life, your zoom life. What lenses would you recommend for gym content? Great video, by the way. Oh, I know. Thanks for telling me what system you use, you moron. God, these people, like, just pick a lens. I'm gonna recommend you some lenses. I don't care what your camera is capable of doing. I'll just tell you what I do. I vary between 3 primes. If I'm gonna work out, doing the monkey strength workouts, of course, superior to whatever weights your bullshit body is trying to lift. I use the Zeiss Batis 18mm 2.8, nice wide shot. It's goofy looking, but like, if you just wanna set up quick and do that, 18mm, that's a decent look. Sometimes I use the Voigtlander 35mm Tony 1.2 just for like a little more magical look. Nothing's in focus hardly, but it's like, ooh, the compression, the 3D pop on that thing, oh my God, that's fun. And then sometimes I'll use the Canon C70 with a 50mm 1.2, either for like a full body look or just zooming up. It feels like, oh, I'm making a movie now. This is a workout movie that everybody walked out on because no one cares. But it's fun times, is it not? So the reality is the wide lens is easier, you'll get more in the shot, but you're gonna look a little goofier. Like right now, like I probably look all distorted and weird. But you could look normal on a tighter shot. So 35 to 50-ish, even 85 if you got the room in your gym. You're gonna be kicked out, by the way, but hey, you wouldn't do like a body pose with the 18mm and it's like, oh, that guy's scrawny and weird. And don't forget 24mm 1.4 might be the best option of everything I just mentioned. And each system has something like that because no one knows what system you shoot. So get your Sigma, you flat bitch. Good times. Okay, last question here. Finally got my first Sony a6700 suggested lens for talking head videos. You could have got a ZV-E1 for that price, but you suck at life. You will regret it, or you could have got a Sony X3000. Huh? The real question is, it doesn't matter. Pick a Zeiss and run. Get the 35mm 2.8 Zeiss, tiny little thing, boom. Like it doesn't feel full frame. I think they make some APS-C Zeiss. There's like one, like a 24mm 1.7 or some bullshit. It's okay. It'll be good, but you can't upgrade to full frame now. I would get a full frame lens. I made a video for dorks like you. It was called like ZV-E10 destroys my whole life. And I used all my Zeiss primes on that. Thanks for not watching it, asshole. Every day I get a question about something. It's like, I have filmed that already. You should go back to day one and take a couple months off work and watch every video I've ever made, taking notes, because your monkey ass is gonna forget the brilliance spewing forth into your screen through an X3000. And then like, you'll know. You won't have to ask these stupid questions because they've already been answered 100 times. And the answer is any Zeiss prime. Get the Prime and run. 55 mil 1.8. Do you have the room? That'll be 85 a quid, roughly. Don't quote me on that. No one cares. I'm doing an X3000 here. It probably looks better than anything we've ever seen. It's beautiful camera here. It's Zeiss. Wow. I've helped you somewhat, and that deserves Bitcoin donations. Sony X3000 with a lav mic. You can move. Swing and move. Subscribe for more, man.